Local news, local topics, local conversation. You're listening to A.M Beaver County on 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA. Presented by St. Barnabas and streaming live at beavercountyradio.com.
And we're back on this Wednesday morning edition of A.M. Beaver County, and joining me in studio is the Rochester Mayor, Keith Jackson. Keith, good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Beaver County.
It's been a while. I was off the last time you came back here, and it's been a couple months since we talked, so let's catch up a little bit. How did the 4th of July thing celebration go over in Rochester? How was it this year?
Well, it's really nothing that happened over there other than people doing their own things with fireworks and all. The activities aren't there like it used to be. Like I said, that old money's not around no more.
Yeah, the old money ain't around anymore, and also the old push to make sure that those events get maintained doesn't seem to be around anymore. Why do you think that is?
That I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. This lack of funds, everyone says there's no monies, but there seems to be money when they need something.
Yeah. It's always the convenience, and it's all it always tends to go from we don't have it to we're prioritizing it, and you don't know about it.
Don't know about it. Correct.
So, what would you like? I mean, and I know we talked about this before, the past spring events and everything, but we're heading into the dog days of summer, as it were, in August, and slowly edging towards fall. What are some events that you'd like to see? And it don't have to be necessarily recreational events. It could be community events. It could be cleanup events. What are some of the events that you'd like to see come to Rochester over the next couple months?
Well, first of all, I'd like to see some things happening for the kids in Rochester. I received a call the other day complaining about the kids playing on the streets with these basketball hoops and stuff. There's no activities for these kids to do. There's nothing for the kids to do in Rochester. They're playing balls on the streets or in front of their homes and stuff. I feel, from my experience, they're being respectful. If they see a car coming down the street, they get out of the way. But you only have a couple basketball courts in Rochester, and most of your basketball courts are being taken over by the older kids. The younger kids don't have nowhere to go, so their parents buy basketball courts for them to play on the streets. I don't see where there's a problem there.
Yeah, I don't either, but and that's something that's gone. I mean, that used to be the way that people play baseball in the streets. They would just grab a couple trash can lids, that'd be home plate, and then they go from there. And it just, the rules are, rules of the game, and if a car comes, we stop playing.
We stop playing.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, we used to play in the streets. We used to play wiffle ball in the streets. And the ones that are complaining about the kids playing in the streets, they played in the same streets that I played on. So, we have to do something for these kids, not just Rochester, throughout Beaver County. Stop labeling them for being bad.
Right. It's kids being kids.
They're being kids.
And that's why there's so much of this. Yeah, there feels to be two camps when it comes to deal with kids. Either make sure you know exactly what they're doing at all times, or let them be kids. And it feels like there's always going to be that disconnect between one side or the other. That one side wants, sort of this pure, evolution. Well, I won't say pure evolution, but sort of this, step-by-step process that allows them to sort of shape these kids into something they want to be, or to just let them get, because if you took away that street, if you took away the streets for them to play basketball, and they're just going to find a place to play basketball somewhere, they'll find a way to play it on grass.
On the grass, and anywhere they can find a spot. And it might not be where you want them to play. Now you created a problem that you could have solved somewhere along the line somewhere else.
Exactly. You want them to be, I mean, I understand parents, and they want to have, full assurance that their kids are doing something right, that they're doing something good. But if all they're doing is playing basketball, that can't be too much of a bad thing, because that they're out there doing something.
And you know where they're at. And most of the kids in the neighborhoods, not just in that area, are coming from different areas because they know these kids are playing basketball.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these kids are going to be the ones that you're playing ball with from junior high through high school.
Right, exactly. Now, we were talking about the, sort of things for kids to do and, sort of organizing that for them. As far as the actual organizers themselves, we were talking a little bit off air before we started about how you actually have some new council members that are part of the borough.
We have some new council members, which I am very thankful for. They're positive thinking people. They want to do things for the community. These council people have kids that are at the age where they need recreational. A lot of our council people that we do have, their kids are all grown up. And it just seems like that they don't have no concern for the other kids in Rochester. I've been in local government for 12 or 13 years, and I have not once heard anyone saying what they're going to do for the kids. What are we going to do for them?
Right, and that's actually a fascinating point too, because the perspective of someone when dealing with the youth is if you have somebody who does have a kid, they may think a little differently than someone who's sort of going through the nest egg thing where their kids are out of school and on their own. It's like, okay, well, if that's it for me, then I'm just going to look at this town from my perspective and what I want, and what an adult wants and what a kid wants are two very different things. So,
what I would like to see for Rochester, a lot of us are grown, our kids are all grown up, have moved away, having families. Their kids are going to want to know where grandma and grandpa and themselves, where was you raised and born at? Well, they're going to bring their kids and stuff back home, which I was always told, don't forget where you come from, because you're going back there one way or another, regardless if you want to or if you don't want to. You're going to bring your family back home. You're going to want to come back home. But when you bring your family back home, you want to have something to show what you have done with your community, not just letting it go to rot. You can't do that. You have to do something for the people in your community. They're the ones that you're working for. I work for the people of the borough of Rochester, not the council people. The council people need to realize they work for the people of the borough of Rochester. And like I've always said, I'm a Rochester person. I don't care if you're from North Rochester, East Rochester. I am a Rochester person. And whatever I try to do for the borough, I would do for North Rochester, East Rochester, and any other municipalities that happens to come aboard with us. I would treat everyone the same.
Now, when you say that, I'm going to assume that that's not the same mentality that everybody else has that's in charge.
No, everyone don't see things that way. Everyone, from what I have gathered, it's all about them. You can't just think about yourself. I need everyone in Rochester. I need everyone in Beaver County. I have mentioned this once before. I have been helped from each town one way or another. And I would like to give back to these towns if I'm able to give back, supporting them in any way that I can support them. I'll be more than glad to help out. I think if we work together, we'll accomplish not just for Rochester, for the whole Beaver County. Everyone runs around here talking about the knowledge and wisdom that they have. Let's start putting this all together and make something happen for these kids in every community, not just Rochester.
And furthermore, if that were to reflect in Rochester, because it's not just a matter of, doing things for the kids and doing things for the community, but, you talk about, a town going to rot, which, there are elements of that in every town, unfortunately. But, in that regard, you have to look at it from a leader's perspective and say, okay, if I were to come back here, if I were to move away for 5 years, 10 years, and come back, would I want it to look like it looks now? And if the answer is no, then you got to go somewhere from there.
Well, I think if you try to bring some businesses into your communities, it may not be a Walmart. It may not be a Kmart. But if any business comes into your community, give them an opportunity, at least bring something into our town so it don't look so, I can say, dark or cloudy. Let's bring it back to light.
Right, or even, you could use the word empty in there. Empty might be a word to use there. Although I will say, and this may come off a little cynical, if you guys brought back a Kmart to Rochester right now, considering there's only one left in the entire country, I'm there.
Well, I was just using that as an example.
I understand.
Because it was there one time in Rochester.
Yeah. I understand you were saying that, but I just thought about that. I was like, no, I would absolutely love to see a Kmart come back to Beaver County, because that would just,
I wouldn't have to go too far to go shopping. All I have to do is go right down the street.
That is true, but in all seriousness, you're right. There's got to be businesses that come in there, and there's got to be, sort of a more organized effort to try to, make the community better.
And you just can't pick and choose who you want to come in to start a business. I have experienced some things since I've been on council. If one person has a problem with somebody, they all have a problem with it. I don't work that way. I believe in giving everyone first chance and second chance, because each and every one of us out here has received not just the first chance, second chance, and a third chance. Let these people come in and open up their businesses. If they can't stay in business, I'm pretty sure they have enough sense where they're going to back away from it, but give them an opportunity to make something happen for our town.
I mean, I've said it 100 times on the show over the course of the last week, and I'm going to keep saying it until it stops being relevant, which I don't think it's ever going to be, which is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if a business comes in and fails, so be it. But if a business doesn't come in, it doesn't even have the opportunity to fail or succeed.
And as long as you let them come in, at least they're trying to do something for your community. And I take my hat off to people like that.
Yeah, so I certainly hope that over the course of the next couple months or years, however long it takes, because it is a process, and it doesn't happen overnight, but that in that process that there becomes not just this influx of businesses that come into Rochester Borough that could sort of influence and sort of reinvigorate the hub of Beaver County, because geographically that is what Rochester is the hub of Beaver County, but also it creates this sort of bond between one side and the other, and that, like you say, it's not a matter of North Rochester versus East Rochester or the borough versus the township. It's a matter of the whole community coming together to make things better.
And that's what the community wants. I get phone calls constantly, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the mornings, which I'm okay with that. I'm glad that I'm able to help someone if I'm able to, or save someone's life. A call coming in 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the mornings. And I tell people, if you want to talk, just call me. I don't care what time of the morning it is. Feel free to pick up that telephone and call me.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that kind of dedication, I think, that people want to see. They want to hear. They want that from everyone. They want that to be part of the community. So I think going down the road, it's going to be it's going to be a tough process. But I think if you keep at it, Mayor, I think things are going to get better for Rochester.
Well, you made a statement earlier that you keep talking about certain things. Well, I keep talking about certain things. I can see a change coming. It's not going to be the change that everyone expects it to be. But that's the reason why I say I'm thankful for the new council people that have come aboard, because my experiences with each and every one of them, I see where they're concerned about the kids. They're concerned about the people in Rochester. It's not that they're concerned of what's going on in that room.
Right.
They're concerned of what's going on outside the box, which I made a statement in council once before. Some of us need to start thinking outside the box instead of inside this room. The knowledge that you have inside that room, if you put it all together, you can make things happen in Rochester where everyone is going to have a say of being yes instead of no all the time.
Right. And it's not, and then they'll have sort of an openness to, you know, what could be and what could possibly happen in Rochester. Mayor, I thank you so much for coming on once again to talk. And
thank you for allowing me to be here.
And look forward to talking to you again next month.
Feel free to call me anytime you want.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor.
And thank you.
News is next here on A.M. Beaver County.
Are you ready for a life-changing career?